So I guess you've seen our advertisement, which sort of told you to watch the show, watch the show, watch the show, watch the show. Well, actually, maybe I should introduce myself first. I am the host, Mr. I forget, what is it? There it is, Mr. Eleveld, right around there somewhere. And with us, we have Mr. Scott Curry, right over there.
Hi.
Scott Curry. Well, pop up the name. Now he's confused. See, now he's confused. There he is, Scott Curry, right there. They spelled your name a little bit wrong, Scott, but how's life going? You've changed a little bit since last week. Haven't you shaved or something?
Yes, I've shaved and I had a tan.
You had a tan, you shaved, and you dyed your hair, and you were out vacationing. Where were you vacationing over the past week?
The Love Canal.
Love Canal. I thought it was Hagersville you were at.
Really?
Yeah, it's sort of, I didn't know which way you were going. I knew it was sort of heading out east, west, north, or south, somewhere in that general direction.
Yeah.
So did you have a good vacation?
It's pretty good.
It was all right.
Except
Well,
for tidal wave.
it's tidal wave. That must have been a big one then, because the ocean's quite far away from either of those places.
Yeah.
Well, we're here to talk about, what are we talking about today?
Modems.
We're talking about modems. Why?
'Cause we feel like it.
Okay, probably a really good reason. We just sort of came up with the idea that modems was a good hot topic to be discussing. And I guess you're the sort of the resident modem expert, at least when it comes to the callers who call into the show. You're the one who always seems to have the answers for all of our modem questions and the works, right?
Right, I guess.
So you're going to be discussing the kinds of things you do with the modem, and maybe we should remind people that you're the Shazad who calls up, or we call him Shazam at the odd time.
I'm not Scott?
You're not Scott anymore.
Oh, darn.
You can take off the mask and be Shazad. That's right, there you are. You're Shazad now. And you've called into the show, what from way back in
October.
85, 86. Is that when you started calling into the show?
No, it was the 70s.
The 70s, the late 70s. Yeah, but the Love Child era. And
when the Brady Bunch was on.
That's right, exactly. So that's when you were calling in as a regular call-in, and then it sort of aligned itself. You actually were a winner of certain awards for calling into the show, and then you actually got to the level of being on the show. So here you are, sitting, talking about modems. You know what?
What?
You wouldn't believe this, but Taryn's waiting on the line already. He called through, just like you said he would, right at the beginning, and he's waiting for us. But we're going to get to a few things, and then we'll get to Taryn, because he's got sort of a special thing to do with us, and that's why he sort of called in first, right?
Yeah.
Sort of a prompted caller. So why don't we discuss, first of all, what a modem is, and tell the people, because some of them out there might not even know what we're talking about when we say the word modems, and the word pops up. May 4th, modems, and the telephone number. You can turn around and look at that camera if you want and actually see yourself again on camera.
Yeah.
And there's the TV that I watch. So what is a modem? Can you give us a nice little brief overview of what a modem is and what it does?
Well, a modem is usually shaped into a box, right? It usually looks like a little box. And what it usually does is, instead of sending voice transmissions, it goes to your computer, and what you type in, it transfers that into voice, and it goes through another line, and then another modem picks it up, and now that converts it again into binary. Well, I'm not sure if it's binary or not, but into computer talk, and you'll see it on your screen.
Okay. Now, when it converts this information over, how does that information get there onto the phone lines in the first place?
Well, you have the modem hooked up to your telephone line, right? And when you type in something, you need a computer program that will support the modem. Okay. Like Procom or Telex.
Okay. Communication software.
Communication software, yes.
For it. Okay.
And that will send the thing to the modem, and the modem will convert voice into computer talk and computer talk into voice.
Okay, and that modem stands for modulator demodulator, which what the term actually means is it takes normal signals that we're used to and modulates them so that they can be used by the computer, and vice versa. It takes the signals and sends them out. So what happens is you have to have a modem on each computer that's talking. You can't just have, if you had one computer in the world with a modem, wouldn't do any good, would it?
No.
The problem is you have to talk to another modem. They have to know how to talk to each other, and the way you do that is through communication software.
Yes, because like if you just had a modem, you type in something in the DOS. When I first got my modem, I typed in something in my DOS, and I pressed return. It said bad command and file name. And I said, what's going on here? I turned on my modem. Why isn't it working?
That's right.
And I got so worried I was going to return it until I called up the manufacturer, and they told me that I need a software. Now, the place that I bought it from, they didn't even know that you need a software.
That's right. They didn't. That wasn't even part of the basic stuff that they gave you with the modem. And most modems don't come with software. Some do, though.
Yeah.
Some are packaged with good communication software, and others aren't. And I guess that will determine the better the modem, usually the better the software package that comes with them.
Mostly Procom comes with it. A lot of Procoms.
PC Talk and Bitcom or some others that get packaged with a modem as they get sold to the general public. Maybe you can talk to us about what the different types of modems there are out there. I know that there's a term like 300 baud, 1200 baud, 24 and 9600 baud. What does that mean? Am I getting something better? Is the number better when it's faster, a higher number, or when it's a lower number?
Oh, yes it is. It goes by normal counting. Like 300 baud is exactly what it means. It's 300, and I think it's bytes per second or something like that.
Bits per second. Yeah.
Bits per second. And what that means is that how fast it goes. Now, 1200 baud, a 600 baud obviously goes double, and then so does a 1200 baud. A modem that I use is a 1200 baud because it was the market when I bought it, and now they've even come up to 4,000 and even higher. Not 4,000, 14,000, and it's gone really high. And what that does is that increases how fast it goes on your monitor. And in fact, it goes into files as well.
Okay. So in other words, you get a modem and you buy these faster ones, and you have a 1200, and then there's 2400 and 9600 baud and 14,000 that you're talking about. Now, if let's say I had a modem and I bought a 9600 baud one, a pretty fast one that's out there right now, and you have a 1200 baud modem, and I'd call up your modem. Could I talk to you at 9600 or 1200 baud? How would that go?
No, it wouldn't. What would happen is the communication software that you would have, you'd have to configure it to yours 1200 baud. Unless you had a bulletin board hooked up and I were to call you, then it just might. It depends on the modem. It just might pick it up. But if it doesn't, a whole bunch of C's, X's, and a lot of other gobbledygook will come up, and it'll look like nothing, and so you'll have to configure it.
I'll have to slow mine down to 1200 baud to be able to talk to yours directly. Maybe we should talk to Taryn now, because he's going to give us a demonstration of what a modem sounds like, I believe.
Yeah, we couldn't get a modem working here, so we'll just ask him to show it to us.
When did that happen? When couldn't we get a modem working here?
Well, it happened.
We didn't try.
We didn't try.
Why? Because we got Taryn waiting for us. He's gonna do it for us.
He's gonna help us for it.
Okay, so why don't we take Taryn and give a talk to him. Taryn, you're live on Computer TV with, I guess, Shazad. We'll give you your real name for a little bit. And myself. How's it going?
Hi, guys. How you doing?
Pretty good. Working hard?
You want to hear what a modem sounds like, eh?
Certainly. What kind of modem do you use and that you're going to let us listen to?
2400 baud.
2400 baud. And do you call up to a lot of different bulletin boards and the whole thing? Okay. And what kind of stuff do you download on your modem from these bulletin boards? Do you go into the different chatting with different people and leave mail messages and download software? Is that the whole idea?
Yep.
Okay, and of course you don't do any pirating, right? That was last week's show.
No.
Good man.
Do you have an NMP5?
Yes, I do.
Oh, wonderful. That's
must be an ATI, shouldn't it?
Is it an ATI that you have?
Yes, it is.
ATI, MNP5, Shazad. It's like Shazad knows what we're talking about here. Doesn't it sound like that?
Sure he does.
We're sure he does, eh? And in fact, he called you up before the show and arranged this little tete-a-tete. I don't even know what that means. I don't even know what that means.
I don't know.
I've heard it in a movie somewhere, so it probably worked. I don't even. Okay, so why don't you do that, and then just play it for maybe 5 to 10 seconds so we can hear what it is, and I'll try and change the volume here so it doesn't muck up the meters in the control room. But play, and then come right back to us, okay?
Okay.
Okay, go ahead and do it. Is it going to click through?
No, it needs. Yeah, actually.
There it
No.
goes.
But it won't.
It won't do that?
No, because it needs another modem, and that sends the same signal, and it'll go. And when they two connect, they'll like go.
Okay, it's going to make a lot more of a fuzzy noise later, like the noise, like very much like fax machines could sound like when they're trying to send information back and forth. Are you there?
Yep. Did you hear it?
Certainly did, and we heard the initial carrier frequency, and then we heard the one that tried to lock on to the other modem, and of course we didn't have a modem here for you to lock on to. Actually, we've got a modem here,
We
but it
got a
wouldn't do any
modem right
good,
there.
so it's out of its case. So yeah, that was great. That's actually the signals that you hear that the modem sends out over the phone to try and connect up, correct?
There are different ones though. For like 1200 baud, the longer signal, and 300 baud, it's even longer.
It
Yeah.
sounds really light. It's
Yeah.
really light sound. It's like
not- Yeah.
you can barely hear it.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good to know. So you're pretty happy with your modem. Will you ever be going up to, say, 9600 baud or try and get a faster one? Is that one of your ideas?
Probably. Sure.
Or do any of the services that you try and hook up to right now, do any of them run at 9600 baud?
Some of them run at, I think, 14,000 baud.
Oh, so you know some that you know you could get the usefulness out of it if you could run that fast.
Yep.
Well, that's good. Well, thanks a lot for calling. Actually, we have a trivia question. Should we let him have the trivia question too? I don't know if we're going to be ready for the
Well,
trivia.
Actually, we should wait.
Oh, come on.
Well, why don't we give him the trivia
Okay,
question?
let's give it to
because
him.
he's not going to get it anyways, is he?
Yeah.
He's not going to
It's
get
impossible,
it. It's
good
a
luck.
tough one. And right now, they don't want to go to trivia now. They're not ready for trivia.
No.
They're not ready for trivia. So we can't give you the trivia question. I think we have to do that after the first break.
Okay.
Okay? Maybe try and call back later if you know the answer. So if you listen through, you'll be able to hear the trivia question come up, and then you can call through with the answer.
All right.
Okay?
Don't worry.
Yep.
Thanks a lot.
All right.
Bye-bye. Well, that was good. At least we heard exactly what happened. He had his computer at home, and the modem was hooked up in his computer, and his phone was hooked up right into his modem as we were speaking, and it just sent out a signal, and we could hear exactly what was happening.
Yeah. See, that's the sort of sound that comes out, but when it's connecting, it makes a sort of crowd sound, like when you hear it go
Cheering or
"Yay!"
something.
Yeah, and then it goes connects.
It connects up, and then it goes silent because that's how the modem, the software inside, turns it up. It's not that it really went silent. There still are talking back and forth. And if you ever picked up another phone on the same line, you'd be able to hear the kind of noises
you'd be able
that
to
they send
hear
back.
that.
But when you do that, you could cause problems and send errors in the line.
Yeah,
Correct?
a lot of static. Unless you have an NMP5, you could yell in it all you want, but it won't help.
Oh, okay. No problem. Well, why don't we get on to some of the maybe the services that you connect up to, and some of the things that you dial into to talk to.
To talk to one board, and this may sound like I'm advertising for it, but it's called the Software BBS. Now, this board, personally, I'm a co-sys on this board, and this board is 265-8253. Now, this is the highest it goes is to 2400, and it's pretty good because it runs on an Opus. An Opus is a type of program that it runs on the board,
Okay.
and it has a bulletin service. It has a software list, online list. It has PD files.
Public domains.
Public domain, no
You're
pirated.
gonna have to explain a few of these terms as you go
Public
through.
domain. It has a message basis. I think it has 6 or maybe more echo files, echo message areas. Now what this is that, say you type in a message, and now the message base is probably called, maybe one message is called the environment area, and that goes to that echo goes to another one, and that one goes to another board. Now when you type in something, you say, well, I'm concerned about the environment, it'll go on all the other boards that are participating in that echo. It'll go to there maybe in a day or so, and you'll probably have a response from other boards.
And these other boards are like spread throughout the area, throughout North America, or throughout the world, or how is that
there's
done?
NetMail that is nationwide, and it's usually American and nation, but most of the time you need special access, or you have to pay for that because it takes lots of time and consideration into that. But echo mails are run by the sysops, and echo mails are mostly around the area, from Mississauga to maybe Scarborough to the Ontario area.
So I guess what you call these conferences that you're talking about, echoes, people can get on these conferences, discuss certain topics, and it's a great way of getting in touch with a lot of people who want to talk about the same idea. Well, have to sit down and be at a certain place and set up meeting rooms and the whole idea. They can sit there and write up their message, send it to the group of people, Everybody can read them, then send their own message in, and people read them at their own time, and people are very busy usually with work or something like that, that these kind of things can be done after hours and still keep that good kind of contact that you need to keep up.
Yeah, it's really good for discussions because if you want something to talk about, you could have a debate right there and there, right. On Echo Mail. And it might take a day or so to get the response, but if you wanted, you could get the phone numbers, and it's worthy of an echo because
But that's still faster than the postal service.
say you don't want to take the time, you want that message basis, but you don't want to go on the board because it's long distance. Well, you have that Echo Mail right there, and you could talk to people and see what's up.
Why don't we take a phone call here? We got Andrew waiting for us.
Okay.
Andrew, you're live on Computer TV with Shazad and myself.
Hi.
How you doing?
Do you need anything, a special program or anything to hook up a modem with a fax machine? Because I dialed much music and I was trying to send them a picture and they got garbage.
Through your modem, you had like a TIFF file or something that you were trying to send?
With a picture I wanted to send them.
Now, what kind of picture was this? How did you have a picture on your computer that you were sending them? What kind of file was it?
I have a program called Newsroom, and you can draw pictures and articles.
And so it makes a file up for you, and you tried to modem that file to somebody.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that won't work.
A picture, because I can do that with my friend.
That's right, but see, the problem is twofold. One is how fast is your modem?
2400 baud.
2400 baud. All fax machines run at either 4800 and 9600. Now they all have their own protocol inside. Even though they sound alike, when you call a fax machine, you hear the same kind of noises that you hear from a modem. They don't work with the same kind of information. So you just can't have a modem and send out a file and it knows how to connect up to a fax machine. They use different types of signals to connect up and where it's coming from. The whole idea of being able to talk back and forth, it's not the same thing. It's like people knowing two different languages and that's all they know, not being able to communicate. That's the same thing that happens with the modem. Now what you can buy is there's a lot of cards out there that are fax machines and modems built onto one. So that's what you're going to need if you want to be able to send faxes right from your computer. We discussed that in a few other shows here, that there are fax cards for your computer, and most fax cards that are out there now they're either 4800 baud or 9600 baud fax cards, and both of them work with all fax machines, because if you have a 9600 baud fax, it will slow down to 4800 if you send it from a slower one. So that's not really the problem, and they're usually quite a bit cheaper. And they usually come with 2400 baud modems built on, so that's what you need. Sell your 2400 baud and get one of those if that's what you want to do, send faxes also.
Okay. Do you recommend any of the cards?
There's one out there that I like, and it's by a company called the Complete PC. I don't know if you're going to be able to find that anywhere. They actually have the fax cards, both 4800 and 9600 baud, and they have modems that you can get built onto it, and they also have an answering machine you can get built onto it. And that will actually answer your phone and store the voice on the hard disk and go through quite a bit of interesting stuff. In other words, on one card you have a modem, a fax machine, and an answering machine. You plug it in your computer and you got quite a bit of communications capabilities.
Can I have a question or a trivia question?
You really can't have a trivia question. We go to the trivia question at just after we come back from the first break, so we can't give you the trivia question. Why don't I see if I can come up with a question for you, just in terms of here's a good idea. What is a null modem cable?
A null modem cable.
You know what a null modem cable is?
Is it a cable that goes directly to the phone line from the modem?
Not quite, no. What a null modem cable is, so you can hook two computers up sitting side by side together and do modem type operations without having to go over phone lines. It would just be a cable hooking between the serial port on each computer, and you can run modem software as if you're running a modem, and it can run up to like 9600 baud, 19K baud, no problem, because it's a direct hookup. It's not going over the phone lines anymore.
Okay. Okay, thanks.
Thanks a lot.
Okay, bye.
Bye-bye. Well, that was pretty good.
Yeah.
He had a good question about the fax machines, and that is certainly a nice choice in the world now that you can buy at not too much more than a 2400 baud modem. You can get the fax machines built on. Now, you have to watch that, because some of these fax machines will only receive faxes or only send faxes. They won't do both. Mm-hmm. So when you go buy one of these fax machines / modems built onto one card, and you hook it up and you've got your modem, but then you can only say receive faxes, then you really can't send them out to anybody. It doesn't do you any good. Or the other way around, it doesn't do that good a job to if you can send them out, but then somebody says, I want to send you a fax, and you say, well, I can't receive one, mine doesn't work. You probably just have to pay a few extra dollars for the ability to receive a fax at the same time, and it makes life a lot better. And sending faxes are great over the computer, because normally people type up a letter in their computer, they print it out in the printer, it takes all that time, they then take it, put it in the fax machine and fax it somewhere to have a nice letter sent somewhere. Now what you can do is you can type up the letter right on your computer screen and just say, fax it to this telephone number, it handles all the rest. And a lot of them do it in the background, so while it's faxing all this information out the phone line, you can actually sit there and work in your word processor and work with anything else you want, and it'll do all the faxing. You won't be able to use your modem because the faxing uses the same telephone line, but you can still get quite a bit of work done. It's called doing it in the background, running the program in the background. So you have to look to see if you want that.
Yeah, and it saves a lot of paper too because it just comes on the screen. You have lots of paper left because it just goes to the safe.
That's right. So it's a good thing for the environment because you're not always wasting paper, because most people print it out, and end up throwing it away as soon as they're done faxing it. Correct?
Yeah.
Why don't we take a phone call here, and we'll see what's up. Rob, you're live on Computer TV.
I was wondering if you had a 2400 baud modem and a 4800 fax. Excuse me.
I think
fax
you better
machine.
turn down your TV set.
Okay, just a sec.
Okay. Well, is it break time soon?
Soon.
Absolutely. Okay, we're gonna have to rush this.
Okay, I'll wait for after break then if you want.
Oh, well, actually, do it right now because we're going to break in a minute.
Okay, I was wondering, like for the 2400 baud modem and the 48 fax,
Right.
can you have two separate lines and run the fax machine and the modem at the same time?
No, you can't. One is you can't do that with the computer software and hardware that sits. And the second reason is that there's only one line in and one line out on that card. You'd actually have to get a computer and do multitasking software and have a modem and have a fax machine in it. That's how you'd have to run that if you'd want to do modem stuff and faxing at the exact same time. And you have to have a good computer, at least a 286 or 386, to run that multitasking software and send faxes out and do modem stuff at the same time. It's not the easiest thing in the world. You're better off waiting for one or the other to happen. Thanks a lot for calling.
Okay, I'll call after break then.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, I think we better go to break.
Yeah.
And maybe we'll be coming right back with our trivia questions and see if anybody can win this wonderful prize, which we'll show you in a
Just
moment.
a moment.
Just a moment.
Yep.
Something like that. See you in a bit. Or...
My name is Bob Hookey, and I am host of a show called Profile. Profile is an opportunity to introduce you to the movers and shakers and leaders and innovators in our community. The idea is to offer insights into the lives of these very busy people, and I hope that you can join me for a very informative half hour.
We're live on Computer TV with Shazad, myself, Trivia Time. Trivia Time's going to be happening.
Yep.
And maybe we can show you what you can win. Should we do the trivia first or the win first, like what you win?
Well, I think we should do the win first.
To get them all enticed up, so
Yeah,
when
to
we
get
give
them
the
all.
trivia question, they'll go, I need to know this answer, because I could win on CTV.
Just to give you a hint for what this has been, I think, number 3 on American list.
Number
The top selling program for businesses. And
That's
number
right.
3.
That's
It's
right.
been number 3. So
And
this
we'll show it, what it is, and see if we can get a zoom in on this. This is Quicken, from a company called
Right,
Intuit. They're going to be zooming in as we speak here. That's why they flipped to the other camera, just to sort of waste a little bit of time.
Yeah.
There it is, Quicken, which is a personal check writing system and personal finance manager, and keeps track of all your taxes and the works, and it's nice to get caught up on all that stuff. This is a full package. You can see it's got a full manual with it, and the discs, I think it's got both 5 1/4 and 3 1/2 inch discs in here.
Wow.
So it's the full running package. I don't know, retails for between $60 and $100. Like, it depends on where you go get it from. But you can win this package from us.
That looks promising.
promising.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's not a promise, it's a for sure. We're not just promising they'll get it. Like, they'll get it as long as they can answer the question. Now, the question isn't the easiest question in the world.
I know.
To get something like this is tough. When you and I worked long and hard with our crack stats staff on trying to come up with a really good trivia question. So let's try it. Maybe, do they have the trivia questions ready? Are they ever going to have the trivia questions?
Yeah, they will soon.
They will. Okay, well, we'll take a phone call because they still don't have it. And I hope they'll have it ready for, because in case this person wants to talk on the phone trivia. Chris.
Crazy.
Chris, you're live on Computer TV with Shazad and myself.
Hello.
How you doing?
Oh, fine. My one question is sort of a comment, is that
Okay.
why would people want to buy a 9600 baud modem when for $100 or $200 more they could get a US Robotics 14.4 HSD Courier single standard?
I mean, there's a lot of reasons. I mean, somebody probably, it costs just as much to buy a Hayes compatible 2400 baud modem. I mean, Hayes, if you looked at the prices of the real Hayes, not Hayes compatible, I mean a real Hayes modem, they're pretty expensive. And some people will still go out and buy that just because of the reliability in the product. You'd called before and talked about the Robotics 14.4, correct?
No.
Oh, okay, that was somebody else who had called about
Yeah.
that. And they were really into the 14.4. And I agreed, it's a great idea. I don't know how much the 14.4 is going to stay a standard because I was sort of assuming from 19.6 it'd jump right up to from 9.6 it'd jump to 19.2.
Okay, well, what it is that a single standard is you can get it for about $700, $750. Dual standard can cost you over $1,000, but dual standard really isn't necessary in North America.
Right.
There is no actual baud rate 14.4. It does go up to 19.2, and with the HST, you could run it effectively at 57.6K.
And is that using some kind of compression that compresses the files as they're going out?
Yeah.
Okay, and I mean, you can also save your files as, you can PK-arc them or PK-zip them or whatever and compress them, and I mean, you can go on nuts on trying to compress things and speed things up. And you're right, you're going to get some pretty high throughputs. I mean, that's not really the problem. The problem is you just got to go out and buy a modem, and I think 9600 baud's fine for quite a while. You're not going to ultimately speed up things by going to 14.4 right now because the standards at 14.4 still haven't sort of relaxed enough so that every 14.4 is going to be able to talk to every other 14.4. The way that they take the signals in, that they're still not standardized enough on the way they're doing it, that not many of them work well together. They still work, but they're not working perfectly. Have you ever had any problems getting onto any 14.4s?
No.
And trying to run at 14.4?
No.
How many have you tried to get onto?
A lot. It's normally they're usually US Robotics. The only thing that you cannot connect to, and this would be with a single standard, would be a Hayes compatible 9600 HST running at V32. Do that with a dual standard, but that sort of modem is usually only used in Europe and not North America.
That's used in switch telephone networks.
Yeah, so you usually don't have a problem with it.
Yeah, because we're not unswitched anymore over here. That was a while ago, wasn't it? I believe so. In fact, I'm just reading right here. V32 standard is the CCITT standard for 9600 baud full duplex modems used in switch telephone networks. So you're right. It's really not needed that much over here with V.32. But the whole idea is at 9600, at least they're coming up with some standards. Just like 2400 and 1200, the standards were fixed a long time ago, and you hardly ever have a problem with those types.
Oh, yeah.
Sort of agreed. And that's why a lot of, even data pack, they stay at 1200 and 2400 baud lines. They haven't even gone to 96 yet, and that's the real reason for having a modem. I mean, in the long run, getting onto a CompuServe, getting onto anything of the, usually businesses run their stuff through data pack. But the idea is, and they buy leased lines for this, and they still only run at 2400 just because it's such a good standard that's very reliable, and they don't have to worry about it. They know they can put it in any business and it'll run. And you're going to run into those kind of problems going up to 14.4. But agreed, it's for the kind of people who don't mind digging and making things work and spend a little bit of time. But you can imagine the average office doesn't want to put the amount of work into it that you probably did.
No. Plus, most people don't have 14.4s.
Right.
They do, but not as many as, say, 2400 or 1200.
And that's why it takes hard to get everybody over that hump to get to that better standard like 96 or 14.4 or anything that's even going to change to in the future. It's going to take a little while. I mean, most people in the business world don't even know what PK zipping a file is when you're talking about modems. So even that, which is going to speed up things quite a bit, by 50% usually if you're crunching your files up, they still don't get into it that much.
Or if you have several files,
Yeah,
compressing them.
exactly. Whole directories or whatever you need to transfer. But it's still going to take a little while to get people relaxed with that kind of standard. You're right. They should go out and buy them. You're getting the best thing for your money. But at the same time, people just aren't needing it.
No, true.
Did you want to try for this trivia question? I think they have the trivia ready. You want to try for it?
Why not?
Why not, eh?
Why
okay.
not?
Well, you know quite a bit about modems, so this might do you some good. Here they are. The first question is, what does CCITT stand for? You might have an idea on that. You've seen that before, eh?
Not really.
Well, you're going to have to look for it in one of your books or something like that. And where is their headquarters for CCITT? Now, you can win that Quicken package. See, quarters. He's underlining quarters for us. I think he's asking me for a quarter or something like that. We're not sure. So you have no clue on that one because you could win the Quicken. Have you seen Quicken or heard of it before?
No, I haven't.
Oh, okay. Well, it's the third largest selling piece of software in the States, just behind Lotus and WordPerfect, actually. They're number 1 and 2 right now. I think Microsoft Word's sort of catching up with their new version 5, but still it's number 3. So you don't even want to try, eh?
No.
Okay, no problem. And if you can look it up and find it out, maybe you can call us back.
Sure.
Thanks a lot for calling.
Okay.
Bye-bye. There goes that bye-bye again.
Yeah.
You say bye-bye normally when you talk on the phone?
Yeah, and you cut it off.
No, when you talk on the phone normally at home and you answer the phone and you say goodbye, do you say bye-bye to them or do you just say goodbye?
Just recently I started.
Started saying bye-bye? Just because of the show? You've been
Yes.
brainwashed by the show?
Yeah.
No, don't be doing that. That's pretty sad.
If I could make a comment, one of the other
No, you
reasons.
can't. Go ahead, make a comment.
One of the reasons that the people don't want to buy 1400, right? Is
14,000.
14,000
Yep.
is maybe because like they don't have the budget. Like even if it is 200 over,
Absolutely.
they just can't afford it, and it is wrecking because nobody usually has it. So it's use.
Yeah, I mean, he has a good reason to say it. He's probably really into computers, and his difference between 9,600 and 14.4 is a big difference. It really means something to him. But to the average person, they don't really notice the difference. They don't really care for this difference. They just want it to work.
Yeah.
They want to plug it in. They want it to work. Even 2,400 baud, they think is fine. It gets the job done for them, so not too worried. But agreed, people who really get into it, and obviously he's really into his modems, so that's why I thought he'd be able to try and answer those questions. Because when you're really into modems, those are the kinds of words you sort of hear about. I know the headquarters one is tough.
Yeah.
But we've got another call here. It's Mike on line 2. Should we talk to him?
Yeah, sure.
You think so? Yeah, why not?
Let's
eh?
give him a chance.
Let's give him a shot. Maybe he's got an answer for the trivia question.
Good luck.
Mike, you're live on Computer TV. Shazad says good luck in the trivia question. He doesn't think anybody's going to get it.
Yeah.
Do you think you're going to get it?
I hope so.
Okay. So
Yeah.
do you have an answer? You want to start off with that?
Uh,
Or you want to wait it out in case we slip out with an answer?
Yeah.
Because we won't.
is that Shazad or is that Mr. Curry?
That
Yeah.
over there?
I wonder.
Well, take a look. Well, see, if Scott shaved and had that vacation, I mean, it could turn out to be a Shazad. I'm not sure. No, that's Shazad. It's not Mr. Curry.
It looked like him.
It almost did, didn't it? Scott will be glad
I
to
wish
know.
That glare of the light there behind you.
Pardon me?
Might be the glare of the light behind them.
Might be the glare of the light, but then again, it might not, right?
Yeah.
So what's up in the modem world for you?
I was just wondering if you heard of a program that if you call a bulletin board system and you want to upload or download something,
Right?
then you're uploading them something, and then after the screen will split in half, and you can jump to DOS while you're uploading or downloading.
Right? Absolutely.
And so, do you know any
I
program
have a
that
program
will
that
do
does it. Shazad, do you know one that allows you to do that?
Well, I've been looking around for something. I've heard of one like that, and I haven't seen it around. And I don't know of a program that could do it, but I've heard of one.
I've heard of programs that could do it too. Now you could
I
probably do
haven't
it if
gotten
you could do multitasking on your computer and run 2 sessions at the same time, DOS sessions, and have one doing your modem download. But I do know some that will actually do it in the background. That I think the new version of Crosstalk. If you have a 286, I believe so. I don't know if it's Crosstalk Mark IV or Crosstalk 16, but I think one of them allows you to do a DOS work while you're in the middle of uploading, downloading software. As long as you have something written to do it for you, because you don't want to be popping back and forth from DOS to your communications, always to do another little trinket of a thing. If you have your scripts all written up to do your downloading, or you're downloading like a 3 meg file, then you're going to, obviously, it makes it a lot easier for you.
Yeah.
Did you know how long? Here's probably a good, not a trivia question, but a good idea of how to see how things work. How long do you think it would take a 3 megabyte file to be downloaded on a 9600 baud modem? Like if you were to try and send that whole 3 megabytes over. I almost gave the answer away. I almost said it would take so long, and then I had nothing left for a question. How long do you think it would take?
3 meg on a 9600?
Yeah, approximately. Like be within a couple of days here.
Yeah.
I'm joking. It's not days.
No.
How long do you think? Are you calculating furiously as we speak?
Yeah.
You get your calculator out?
3 meg.
3 meg, 9600 baud. Seconds,
I'd
bauds.
say about 15 to 20 minutes.
15 to 20 minutes. Well, it's more like an hour actually.
Yeah.
An hour?
Yeah, it's more like
It's
an
not
hour.
that fast.
3 megs is quite a bit. Now we're talking just 9600 baud, no compression put on it or anything like that. Because if you compressed it 75%, you'd be very close.
Oh, I thought it was talking compression.
No, we're talking just straight off the line. 9600 baud, a text file, 3 megabyte text file, pretty big text file. If you're writing
A lot of words.
That's right. You got a couple encyclopedia. No, not one encyclopedia. A page of an encyclopedia.
Yeah.
So, do you want to try the question just before we go to break?
Okay.
Okay. So the question was, what does CCITT stand for, or CCITT, or CCITT stand for, and where's the headquarters?
And where's the headquarters?
Yeah, their headquarters. CCITT is obviously a place, a people, a thing.
Yeah.
It's got a headquarters. So,
The headquarters is probably in Canada.
well, wrong on that part. So at least you narrowed it down for other people.
Yeah.
And any idea what it stands for? Like, try and get one word. Say what CCITT stands for, and I'll tell you if one of them is right. Come on, what's CC?
Canadian International Toronto Transit.
Well, that's got a lot to do with modems, but actually one word was right, and I'll tell you what the word was: international.
International?
So you're getting pretty good there.
It's getting close.
If I find the answer, I'll call you back.
Perfect. You could win it. Thanks a lot.
Okay, bye.
Bye-bye. Did you want me to go to the phone, or did you want me to go to break? Phone first. We're talking to John. You're live on Computer TV.
Hi, how are you?
Pretty good yourself. What's up?
Well, actually, I was just calling to make a point about the guy that called previously about the 9600 and 14.4 modems.
Perfect. We got some controversy happening here. I feel like Brad Butt sitting here now. It's controversy. Okay, let's go.
Well, first of all, these modems are about $1,000.
Right.
Pretty expensive.
Reasonably, yeah.
The one problem that I find though at 14.4 is that I can't find any software that'll take 14.4.
Yeah, I guess you'll have to narrow that down because a lot of them just can run at 96 and then pump up to 19.2 if they even go that high.
That's right.
So yeah, that is one problem, and I'm assuming that the modem, the U.S. robotics that he's talking about, probably comes with software that allows him to do that. So.
Not that I know of.
Oh really?
Yeah, I've got one and it didn't come with any software.
Okay, well at least we get the other side. He seemed to find no downfalls in it, no matter what I tried to come up with an opposing view. He's always said it was the greatest thing on the earth. But there are some problems, and that's obviously one of them.
Yeah, the second problem is that a lot of telephones won't even accept that kind of baud rate just because of the noise on the phone.
The actual lines themselves aren't clean enough.
Yeah,
if it was a pure fiber optic link or something, to be able to handle it, but some of them are still old enough that the interference caused by that kind of rate is just too high.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they sync down automatically for you, but still the problem is then why didn't you just go out and buy a 9600 baud or 4800 or whatever the story is that you wanted to get out of it?
Yeah. So as for the $1,000 modem, I just end up using it for 96.
And again, a lot of people would end up doing that. That's why Shazad was saying like that $200 that you might be spending. That's the difference there. You might have wasted, and that might have been $200. I mean, if you imagine buying a 9600 baud modem and then a $200 communication software package, you're getting an awful good communication software package because you're usually not that expensive. You could go buy a carbon copy or a lap link or something like that allows you to transfer software very easily and quickly, and maybe a crosstalk or a mirror, and get a really good communications package out of it.
Right.
That's the whole idea. Did you want to attempt the trivia questions?
Sure.
Okay. Trivia questions were, what does CCITT stand for, and where is the headquarters?
Good luck.
Okay. Well, it's in French, so the country is France, and I don't know the French words, but the English translation is International Telegraph, and Telephone Consultative Committee.
Wow, you got the name right. You got the name right. There's one problem with that.
Okay.
That it's not in France.
It's not in France.
It's not in France. Now, well, actually, you said International Telephony and Telegraph Consultative Committee, but it's CCITT, so you would use Consultative Committee first.
Yeah, okay,
But you got it right. I mean, perfect. Now, you didn't get that. I mean, that was pretty good. You thought nobody was going to get this.
I thought nobody would know.
I
Congratulations.
gosh
I
darn
think-
smart out here.
Pardon me?
Just so gosh darn smart.
I think so. Gosh darn smart. Now, why don't I give you, we got 1 minute left here before we go to break. Why don't we give you, because I think that almost deserves a win, because you know what's going to happen. Somebody else is going to call up and just guess at the country and get it, and that's not fair because you got the tough one.
Right.
So I'll give you 2 more guesses, and if you can guess the country, you don't even have to guess the city in the country, even though that's almost just as easy. That's almost a hint. But try and guess the French was another hint. That was pretty good. Like you were on the right track.
Hmm?
So try again. 2 more tries on the country.
2 more tries on the country. Will you give me any other hints?
Well, I can give you quite a few. Why don't we? I'll put in this word, and if you know anything about history, you might get it. I'll say the word neutral.
Switzerland?
You got it. That was pretty good.
What did he get?
He got the right country. It's Geneva, Switzerland. And see, I used the word neutral. You know how he got the word neutral?
No.
Explain how when I said the word neutral, you understood what I meant. Explain that. Shazad's querying you now.
He's querying on that one?
Yeah.
Well, Switzerland's a neutral country from history in terms of wartime and etc.
That's right.
Oh, no.
And yet French is one of their languages that they use.
That's right.
You know, as a standard anyway. Like German in France and a bit of Austrian and a bunch of the different ones. But that's right. I think you deserve to win the quicken, John. You're John, right?
Yep.
You're John. You gave your phone number before you called?
Yeah.
So they got your phone number. They'll give that to me. I'll call you up right after the show and tell you how you can pick this up.
Okay, right on.
Perfect. Have you seen Quicken before?
Actually, no, I haven't.
Have you heard of it before?
No, I haven't.
Oh, you will now.
He'll like it.
You'll like it. It's a great. I actually keep my checks by it now. I just tried it out and really liked it. So, anyways, we got to go to break now. Thanks a lot, and I'll contact you right after the show. Thank you very much. Bye bye. And we'll be back with the top 10 in 1 moment. Right. 1 moment. Computer TV. I'm your host, and with us is
Shazad.
right there, right across, the modem expert that we brought along with us today to replace Scott. You replaced Scott.
Yeah, I
Actually, do you feel bad about doing that?
No.
He's hurt, you know. He's at home probably crying right now going, I'm not on the show. I know lots about modems too. Like he's upset, don't you think?
Well, knowing Scott, he's probably at a party or something.
He's probably at a party, yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe he's having a party.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what he's doing. Well, I think we have our much highly touted top 10. Our crack stat staff got it really ready together at the last moment tonight. They modemed it to us, didn't they?
Yeah.
They modemed this to us. So we've got it waiting in our grubby little paws right here. And we'll be popping that up right on the board there. There we go. Top 10 reasons to have a modem. And why don't you start us off there?
Number 10, because Jeff says so.
Do you think that's a really good reason to have it?
Yeah.
I think so. But do you think Scott might say so? Scott wouldn't say so. He'd just tell you.
Yeah.
We'll try number 9. The Postal Service does not have a chat mode. They don't anymore, do they? They used to, long time ago.
they used to long
That's right,
ago.
when they had the friendly postal guys. And now it's just history. You got those boxes, you go to the corner and
With
you
the
know
butcher knives.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like Brad Butt all over again. We have topical community things
I
happening
know,
here.
it's-
Oh my goodness. Why don't I try? No, you try. Number 8.
It'll make you feel better.
Think so?
Yeah.
A little bit. That
Bit of
9600, is that a little bit better than 144, or which one makes you feel best?
96.
9600 makes you feel best. Okay, number 7. You have never had transmission problems. I've never had transmission problems.
I have another.
Time to buy a modem.
Yeah.
Okay, try 6.
Your received data LED can pass the light, a night light.
Passes a night light.
Night.
Okay, should we explain what a received data LED is? No, we shouldn't. We shouldn't do that.
Just a light.
We won't explain it. We'll let them look it up. They're now forgetting about the trivia question. They can look that one up. Number 5, Bell friendly service guys.
Right.
Oh, what? They threw up number 4, so you better throw that one quickly. Number 4,
You don't have to buy a phone.
a telephone or a phone, one of the two. They're not that expensive nowadays, though. Number 3, you're the kind of guy who has even parody anyway. Are you the kind of guy who's odd parody? No parody. I have no parody.
I got
none
none.
at all. And you try number 2,
It's cheap fun.
as in inexpensive, not as in not worth anything, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. We didn't want to. And number 1 reason for to have a modem is computer, TV, phone answerers enjoy getting 2400 baud screeches, like we did from Taryn. He gave us that 2400 baud screech, and we enjoyed it. Did we not?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
Hurt
all
our
right.
ear, but
It was all right. It wasn't
Good
terrible.
tune.
We have Ted waiting for us. That's what I'm writing right now. I'm writing Ted that he's on line 2, and why don't we, before we go talk to Ted, here's Ted. See Ted? Why I wrote it down, I don't know, because I've got Ted on line 2. Maybe if Ted answers the trivia question right, we'll give him this.
Yeah.
Give him his own name engraved in gold. Can you tell? It's black gold, but it's gold nonetheless.
And then you could sign it.
I could sign it for him. Oh, well, that would be wonderful, eh?
Yeah.
Can you imagine anybody just die for something like that, wouldn't they?
Yeah.
Okay, well, I think we should show, if we can get a nice zoom in here, on a modem and what a modem's all about. I don't know if I'm catching these people off guard as we speak right now. Here is a modem.
That's an internal.
An internal modem, right? Not like the boxy one you talked about. And here, if we can go to the front, you can see these 2 little connectors. And one of them is to plug the line into it, like that's when you plug a cable that comes with the modem into here and then plug that into your wall, and you plug your phone right into the other one.
If you have a phone.
If you have a phone. You don't really need one, but then it's harder to talk to somebody vocally. And on the board is all the associated electronics and gizmo stuff. And as you know, I'm touching it from the edge of it, not being very careful not to touch any of the components with my fingers because of static electricity. That's right. If you ever see somebody walking around with a card in their hand and they just have their hand clasped around the card, they're doing something wrong because it's not going to last very long because they're going to blow it up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Load that one up.
I think Taryn was using his phone connected to the modem because when he turned enter and
That's right.
Yeah,
And
that's
that's why I'm putting this in a special bag here, which is a special anti-static bag. Right here. That's an anti-static bag. It's sort of made with a little bit of metal in the foil, so the static electricity just sort of gets grounded into the metal and doesn't go anywhere. And that's why they make these special anti-static bags. And when I was younger, I used to carry my lunch to school in anti-static bags all the time because they last forever. They don't wreck on you. So it's a nice thing to have. And John won Quicken, did he not?
Yes, he did.
You were impressed.
I was impressed.
He
My
not only
eyes
got
lit up.
CCITT. He got that, and he figured out reasonably quickly where it came from. France was a good guess because it is sort of it is a takeoff of a French word, and that was the whole idea behind it. But probably Ted's getting pretty annoyed by now. He's been waiting there on line 2. He had his name here engraved in gold in the works. So let's talk to Ted on line 2. Ted, you're live on Computer TV with Shazad and myself.
How you doing, guys?
Pretty good yourself.
Oh, not too bad. I'm rather impressed you got my name spelled right, so can I get that engraved?
Yeah. Well, it is engraved in gold. That's gold. Can you tell?
That looks great. White gold.
Black gold. Well, yeah, the whole outside is white gold, exactly. That's how we do it here. So.
Anyways, I guess a bit of a side comment.
Okay.
A lot of things have been changed. I guess in modems, the speeds keep doubling, getting faster and faster and faster.
Right.
But one thing I've been reading about a fair bit lately is ISDN services, which are going to bring up higher speeds and eliminate the use of modems completely, and you'll have them right to the residential.
Oh, so they are making ISDN right for residential for everybody?
It's available now on field trial basis, I think, in Ottawa and Montreal. I know they did it in Peterborough for a short while.
Oh, really? Well, actually, maybe just to enlighten a few of the viewers, can you tell us what ISDN stands for?
My understanding of it, it's Integrated Services Digital Network.
That's right.
It provides works over a regular pair of copper wires. It's 144 kilobits per second. There's two.
That's the maximum goes. So I think they're setting it right now at about 64 as a standard.
Yeah, that's right. There's two 64 kilobit channels.
Right.
One for voice, or two for voice, or two for data, however you want to use them.
Right.
And one 16 kilobit, what they call data or signaling channel. And then there's some overhead data that's involved with it too.
Absolutely.
But
Yeah.
The thing there is that even with the straight barrier channel, one of the two channels, you can get 64 kilobit straight throughput on it.
That's right. And at that time, you start adding compression to that, and you're getting flow-through rates of 256K or something like that. And yeah, once that gets implemented, again, the 14.4s are thrown out the window, and then you get something realistic. The only problem is ISDN is still taking quite a while. It was about 6 years ago, and they were all saying ISDN by the 90s would be in, everybody will have it, and everything would be, that much better. Everything's increased the speeds and that much smoother of an operation, and the standards are set once ISDN got implemented, but it's taken quite a long time. I know there are certain institutions, companies that are set up and they start ISDN right off from the ground zero when they're building it, which is a great idea to have. The only problem is by the time that really becomes useful, they'll have something else better than ISDN. But ISDN was made to be a little bit upgradable as time goes on. They still can do more with it once the technology increases. They're not limited to what they're stuck with.
I agree. I think we're still a good 2 years away before we'll see it available on a widespread basis to
Right.
business, and probably 2 to 4 years before on a residential basis.
Yeah, and those are pretty optimistic years, because you know how long it takes the average person to get into something.
Very true.
Yeah,
Well,
it's
I know, for a matter of fact, I know Northern Telecom, all their central offices now around the city are DMS offices, which do have the capacity for it.
right.
Strictly a matter of upgrading that, but the biggest holdback right now is Bell Canada and regulations with CRTC and so forth.
Is one of the reasons that they can implement this well in the areas, is that because fiber optics were set up there quite a while ago?
That's a bit of a misnomer. Fiber optic is primarily used to connect the central offices together.
Right.
What it does is give higher bandwidth between the central offices, but going out to residential or to customers, you can still do it over the existing copper wire that's in place.
Yeah, and you can keep it there. The idea is inside, like you said, the centers, them talking to each other, that'll allow for ISDN. And if they didn't have the fiber optics there, your ISDN would be localized to a community and not really be able to go through, because of the, like you said, you're not going to be able to put with the cables they had in place before fiber optics. You wouldn't be able to get that flow-through rate on that at the types of amounts and speeds you were trying to go at.
Very, very true.
Well, I guess so. In other words, once fiber optics really gets implemented, that will allow us to relax into something like ISDN. Right now, I guess it's really hard until everybody gets into that and everybody has it set up, and obviously the funds have to be there for it, and people have to put aside some money to, governments and stuff. Again, I sound like Brad Butt, don't I? Government setting aside money for projects and getting, oh my goodness, I'm hurting, aren't I?
Actually, just a point to your fiber comment there is that I believe Northern Telecom down in Florida, if I'm not mistaken, is doing a field trial project called Fiber World, and they're actually bringing fiber right out to the residents, where they're bringing cable TV,
Right.
telephone, voice communications, and data communications.
All on the one fiber.
One fiber each to a residence. There's a community of, I think, something like 10,000 or something.
Really?
Like that.
I remember hearing something about that, and I remember looking into fiber optics quite a while ago. In fact, back about 5-6 years ago, I was installing some fiber optic networks where I was working, and we're actually at the point where we were fusing the fibers together with the fusing device, and that was really quite interesting stuff to fuse the two together, and it was a really neat idea. And once it takes off and once it gets going, I mean, the world won't even think about 14.4. That'll be the slowest poor person's modem you could ever think of. But again, it's going to be still quite a while before we're flying around in UFOs and have ISDN in our house.
It'll take about. Actually, there was an article in I think it was PC Magazine about 2 or 3 months ago that there are a couple manufacturers now who actually have ISDN cards available.
Yeah, there was a whole section on that.
On them, yeah, which I found kind of interesting, because it's the first time I've seen ISDN mentioned in the computer side of things. I work in voice communications.
Oh, I see.
That's the first time I've seen it mentioned on the computer side, something commercially available.
Yeah.
Kind of interesting thing to note.
Certainly. Well, thank you very much for calling in, Ted. Would you have known what CCITT stood for?
I happen to have a book in front of me. Hang on.
Did you?
If I can read this. It's Committee Consultative International Telephonique et Telegraphique.
That's right. That is the French again.
Wait, I can't say it properly, but
Oh, neither could I. I just waited for him to say it right. And did you know where it was? Did it tell you that too?
no, I knew it was in Geneva. They meet every 4 years on the ISDN standards.
Oh, so yeah, you would have been right up there. You would have had a chance at it.
Well, I expect my gold-plated name, so.
Oh, well, that's good enough.
Okay.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Bye bye. Well, this guy knew it too. So here, you said nobody'd get it. Now one person got it, and the other one knew it. So that's pretty good. You underestimated our viewers in Mississauga, did you not?
I'm sorry.
Yeah, apologize profusely to the world. No, you don't have to. You just have to apologize later.
Please. Oh.
That's right. Well, why don't we take Stu, Sue, or Herman? Now, I don't know how they got that mixed up. It's Stu, Sue, or Herman on line 1. Now, if we talk to Stu, Sue, or Herman, what's your guess who it is?
It's Herman.
You think it's Herman? I think it's Stu, Sue. Well, I think it's Stu. I'm going to go for Stu, because then if it's Herman or Stu, one of us is right. If it's Sue, I'm just glad. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
so we'll try it that way. On line 1. Stu or Herman?
You're both wrong. It's Sue.
Bonus! Yeah! Okay, I like doing that. I always bet against my team I like to win, because then if I lose the bet, then it's all right, my team won. If I win the bet, I'm glad I won the bet. You know what I mean?
But you're both wrong. I said it's Sue, not Stu.
No, that's right. That's why I said Stu and he said Herman, because then if I was wrong and it was Sue, I'd be glad I was wrong.
Right.
Right. Okay, what's up, Sue?
Okay, I don't know a lot about modems, but I use a Trailblazer
Okay.
and running with Telex.
Right?
Yeah.
And I have a client that can send at 19.2, but I can only pick them up at 9600.
At 9600, and yet yours would run at 19.2.
It is capable of, he has the same as me, and
Right.
he is I'm capable of sending at 19.2, and we're both configured the same way.
And does his tries to send at 19.2, connects up to yours at 9.6, and then you're able to transfer at 9.6.
Right. I don't pick up from him. He actually sends the files to me.
Okay, and you just sit there and leaves yours in a host mode, so he can just dial up, connect in, download the files to you. I think what's happening is it's auto-sensing the line. The Trailblazers that you have auto-sense to see what the most optimum rate that it can handle with the noise that's on the line. And 19.2, you're going to find quite a few problems in a lot of different places for it. So it figures, it sends at 19.2, nope, syncs down to 14.4, nope, still no good, 9.6, perfect, so it syncs to that. That's probably why. You might notice if you had other people with that same situation that they could actually run at 19.2 if everything worked out perfectly.
Do you mean it's the phone line?
Yeah, well, I'm not saying for sure, but it should be. That's usually what the problem is in that case, right?
Yeah, you should get a fiber optic.
Well, it's hard to get a fiber optic. It's not quite the easiest
Yeah.
thing. But it's probably just that reason. It's not that your modem's doing anything wrong. They do auto-sensing whenever they try and dial out to something.
So is it actually any faster, or should he just send to me at 9600, and I might as well just pick him up at 9600?
If you can pick them up at 96, it won't be any faster. It syncs right down to it and connects on. And we got to go. I thank you very much for calling in, Sue.
Okay.
I'm glad it wasn't Stu or Herman. Made it a lot easier. And call again. I'm sorry we have to cut you off so short.
That's okay.
Thanks a lot.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. So we got to wrap it up here. I thank everybody for calling in. A full nice list of people, and we got our prize given away in the works. So why don't we thank everybody for tuning in, and we'll say goodbye to you and hope we have you on again soon.
Thank you for inviting me on the show.
No problem at all. And we'll see you next week, same time, same channel, I think.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.